Right now, international eyes are here in Wisconsin to watch the election, what these observers had to say about the current state of our democracy. Plus, a local dog breeder taking to court the decision made by a Madison judge on whether the case moves forward. And supporting local entrepreneurs, which food cart is getting first pick of their location next year. It's all ahead on News 3 Now at 10. In less than 2 weeks, eyes around the world will be on the United States as Americans decide who will become the next president. But some of those international eyes are already paying attention to this election. There are 64 international election observers spread out across the country right now, including 2 right here in Battleground, Wisconsin. Braden Ross has the story.
With just 13 days until the ballot count starts, it's not just our fellow Americans that have their eyes on this election.
We've tried the cheese curds.
When Thomas Leska and Indiana Falez found out they'd be making their way to Wisconsin, they did their research.
I found out that this is a state that has, a considerable history of German immigration. And I could already, smell in the air that this would involve beer.
But they're here for more than just the delicacies. They're here for democracy.
I think that if every country were left alone with their own, democratic problems, it would be much harder for them to solve it, because sometimes to have that, external view on your own situation is so super helpful.
Leska and Falez are part of an international team of election observers from the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe.
This is an organization that is made up of the governments of 57 countries, including the United States of America.
They observe elections across the globe.
I've been involved in observing elections in the past 20 years in 25 different countries.
And create reports and recommendations based on what they see. For example, here's what they found in the U.S. in 2020.
The 3rd November general elections were competitive and well managed, despite legal uncertainties and logistical challenges.
They'll be in Wisconsin for the last month of the U.S. general elections, talking to stakeholders about the state of our democracy.
We see if the secrecy of the vote is respected, if all political parties can campaign without intimidation, if the government is using public resources to promote one party or the other.
Those stakeholders include the media. Leska and Falez even stopped by the News 3 Now studio to learn about our experience covering the election. It's not easy work, and they have to spend weeks away from their families to do it. But they say watching democracy in action and making sure it stays healthy is worth it.
The recommendations we make are followed up on. So that feels like we're making a contribution.
In developing countries, people are really eager to vote and participate in elections, whereas in northern countries, rich countries, people tend not to participate as much, and they don't realize the privilege it is to be able to cast your ballot and participate. I think it's my commitment as a citizen to promote democracy around the world.
There are OSCE election observers stationed in every state except Alaska and Hawaii for this election. They'll stick around for about a week after Election Day and release their full report next year.
Braden, thank you. Republican Vice Presidential nominee J.D. Vance making his return to Wisconsin next week. The Ohio senator will speak at Racine's Memorial Hall on Monday, 5:30 in the evening. He's expected to criticize Vice President Kamala Harris's economic plans and encourage Wisconsinites to vote early for the Trump-Vance ticket. A cooler week ahead, a chance of rain tomorrow night. Alex joins us with more in the First Warn forecast.
Eric, southern Wisconsin, this time tomorrow night, we probably will have some showers and thunderstorms, if not in Madison, just to the north and west of Madison. We have a good chance for rain tomorrow night. That's something I haven't said too often lately over the course of the past 2 months. Look at our rain chances. Expect to get wet between Thursday night at 10 o'clock going into the early morning hours of Friday. It's a brief period of a good chance of rainfall across southern Wisconsin. Let's quick track it together here. We can see that future track showing those showers and thunderstorms, let's say Dells, Madison, and West at 10 o'clock. It moves through quickly by midnight, those showers and a few thunderstorms right over Madison, and points to the east over towards Jefferson and Janesville and Walworth County, and then it's out of here by 4 o'clock. In Maine weather, I'll show you how much water we can expect to fall from the sky with that period of showers and those thunderstorms. Current temperatures right now, it's 40 in Madison, 37 in the Wisconsin River Valley, as chilly as 35 right now in Camp Douglas. We are expecting the potential for a little bit of patchy frost overnight tonight, and then the temperatures warm right back up to above normal. Normal highs are 56 degrees. We'll be well into the 60s for Thursday ahead of that weather system. Coming up in Maine weather, I'm going to let you know when we can also expect temperatures, guess what, back up to near 80. How about that?
Alex, thank you. We now know the name of the man who died after his car crashed into the Yahara River. The Dane County Medical Examiner has identified him as Christopher Mosby of Fitchburg. Monona police officers found him about 1 Monday morning after discovering a vehicle upside down in the water. Preliminary results show Mosby died of drowning. His death remains under investigation. A hearing looking to decide on charges against dog breeder Ridgeland Farms took place today. The Blue Mounds Company has been under fire for years from animal rights groups for alleged animal cruelty practices. The group bringing forth the hearing is asking for the appointment of a special prosecutor along with animal cruelty charges against Ridgeland. The judge has decided to move the case to a post-trial briefing where she will make the decision on whether to move forward or not to appoint a special prosecutor. As we look forward to the next 4 years after the election, local law enforcement officials are weighing in on how their jobs could be affected. Here in Wisconsin, sheriffs are elected as partisan officials, but arguably most of what they do is not political. Columbia County Sheriff Roger Brandner was elected to his current term in 2022 as a Republican. Rock County Sheriff Kurt Fell was selected at the same time as a Democrat, but they both say their party affiliation wears off once they put on those uniforms.
We are really a split community, and it's important for us as community members, but law enforcement especially, to not play politics with that.
So we do our best to make sure that the political aspect doesn't come into our agency at all, because it's not the right thing to do.
Both say whether it's policy, funding, or public perception of law enforcement, their work can be affected by what happens at the polls. But what's most important for them right now isn't who will win the election, but keeping polling places safe and secure. With Election Day quickly approaching, the U.S. Postal Service talking about its efforts to successfully deliver election mail. The USPS says it has more than enough operational capacity to deliver the nation's ballots in the final weeks of the 2024 election. In a virtual event, officials share details on the steps they're taking to ensure that election-related mail is delivered on time and securely.
We've made significant investments in enhancing the Postal Service's delivery security in its network, including installation of new high-security collection boxes, electronic locks, a number of measures that help ensure the security of all mail, including ballots and other election mail.
The Postal Service says in the 2020 general election and the 2022 midterms, more than 99% of mailed ballots were delivered to election officials within 7 days. Strokes are becoming more common in younger adults. Now, experts say knowing the signs can quickly improve a person's chances of survival. According to the CDC, the rate of stroke deaths among middle-aged adults hit a nearly 2-decade high during the pandemic. The Cleveland Clinic found patients were having large vessel occlusion, which can cause a major artery in the brain to be blocked. Doctors say that buildup can come from risk factors like high blood pressure, smoking, and unhealthy dietary habits.
That's why it's very important to make sure that even younger adults are seeing their primary care doctors, getting checked for those stroke risk factors, and if they have them, to make sure they're as controlled as possible.
Warning signs of a stroke include eye or gaze deviation, one-sided weakness, arm or leg weakness, facial droop, and slurred speech. If these symptoms are present, get medical help immediately. Wisconsin, now one of the 10 states impacted by McDonald's E. coli outbreak. More than 45 people across 10 states have been infected with E. coli. All of them ate a quarter-pounder from McDonald's with contaminated ingredients. If you think you're feeling uneasy after eating a quarter-pounder, experts say you should go to the doctor. It can take up to 3 weeks to feel any symptoms. They can vary. The CDC is reporting that investigators are working to confirm which ingredients are making people sick. The city of Madison announcing the results for this year's food cart review. The call for volunteers generated more than 900 applications. Reviews had to evaluate at least 80% of the food carts participating to have their scores included. Circo Peruvian Foods came out on top with both of their food carts taking the top 2 spots on the list. Now Circo will get first pick of its food truck sites when the season starts in April.
We're really fortunate that we have close to 100 food carts and mobile food vendors in Madison, as well as tons of art and craft vendors and other license types. But it really just shows the diversity of who lives in Madison. It tells people stories from around the world and where they might have been born or their history of their culture. And many of them bring that forward within their food. It's how they tell their stories.
The 2025-26 vending season will start up on April 15th. Later on News 3 Now at 10, Alex will tell us about the fall-like weather to end the week and trying to reach an agreement with union workers, the latest on negotiations to get Boeing employees back on the assembly line.
Discover the charm of Oregon, Wisconsin. Enjoy the bike trails, parks, and outdoor activities, the quaint downtown, unique shops, and delicious dining. Visit Oregon, Wisconsin, where memories are made. See you soon.
Eric Hovde has a problem with the truth. Time and again, his ads have been called false. He's a desperate candidate, willing to say anything. But here's what's true. Eric Hovde has a plan to slash Social Security 28%, Medicare 25%, veterans benefits 40%, all to spend $4 trillion on tax breaks for rich guys like himself. Eric Hovde's lying, and he's not for us.
I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
Get an 11% rebate on everything in Menards. Fire Safety Month is here. Protect your family in case of fire and carbon monoxide emergencies. This carbon monoxide alarm is $13.96 after rebate. Finish your project with Drydex color-changing spacking from DAP. It features a dry time indicator that goes on pink and dries white once it's ready to sand and paint. An 8-ounce container is $2.99 after 11% rebate.
Save big money at Menards.
We count on gasoline to power our cars, our tractors, our way of life. So why is a city slicker from Miami, Elizabeth Crappie, okay banning gas-powered vehicles? Extremists like Crappie want to eliminate fossil fuels, robbing hard-working families, farmers, and small businesses of their vehicles. Miami Liz's radical ideas hurt our families and our main streets. Don't let Crappie get away with it. Born and raised right here. Todd Novak is our independent voice for common sense, protecting our way of life.
Insanity. Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result.
Would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind.
Kamala wouldn't change a thing? Their weakness invited wars, welfare for illegals, while Americans struggle. Now Kamala wants higher taxes on top of higher prices. We can't afford 4 more years of Kamala.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
I'm sick and tired of getting ripped off by career politicians. And Tammy Baldwin, she's one of the worst. Baldwin's in bed with Wall Street. While she sleeps in her girlfriend's $1 million condo in New York City, Wisconsin families are getting hammered by high inflation and handouts for illegal immigrants. Tammy and her girlfriend are living large while Wisconsin families foot the bill. Frankly, it's time for Tammy Baldwin to go.
I'm Eric Hovde, and I approve this message. Join my team and give today.
Discover the charm of Oregon, Wisconsin. Enjoy the bike trails, parks, and outdoor activities, the quaint downtown, unique shops, and delicious dining. Visit Oregon, Wisconsin, where memories are made. See you soon.
Thursday at 10, crime is a hot-button issue for voters and the candidates. I'm taking a deep dive into the state of criminal justice here in Wisconsin and the impact it could have on you and your wallet. 3 for the People, Thursday on News 3 Now at 10.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
In a major development, Boeing workers tonight reject the latest offer from the company, hoping to end the nearly 6-week-long strike. The newest contract proposal would increase pay by 35% over 4 years. It would have boosted the signing bonus to $7,000 per worker and offer improved health and retirement benefits. The company still saying no to restoring its pension plan, but is proposing to increase matching contributions to 401ks. The strike has halted production. Boeing now says its quarterly losses surged to more than $6 billion.
We're the ones that make it happen, building the airplane, and they're still not recognizing the fact that they wouldn't be where they're at or be receiving what they're receiving if it weren't for us down on the floor building the airplane.
Since the start of the walkout, Boeing has announced it'll cut 17,000 jobs. That is 10% of its workforce. As time goes on, jobs can change. So do the people who hold them. But there are proactive steps you can take to find ways to adapt. New data from LinkedIn shows half of workers surveyed feel overwhelmed by how quickly their jobs are changing. Almost 50% are worried about being left behind. A LinkedIn career expert says there are steps you can take to save your job and make it better.
I think having curiosity is one of the most important things. So understanding that your skills may change, but if you're going along with the change with the company, because guess what? Your boss is changing as well. Everyone is experiencing it. Asking for help is a skill. You want to also know when you've tried everything you can, and it's now time to say, hey, I need some help over here.
To remain competitive, experts say hiring managers want to see how workers have embraced change, including training and courses they've taken to update and improve their job skills. The IRS tweaking our tax brackets to adjust for inflation next year. One big change is to the standard deduction. In 2025, it's going up to $15,000 for single filers, $30,000 if you're filing jointly. Another important change, the earned income tax credit for low to middle income filers going up to a maximum of $8,046. The top income tax rate of 37% will be for individuals earning $626,000 or about $752,000 for married couples. With only 2 months left in the year, we're getting a new look at how some of our savings stacked up this year, and it is not pretty. The Federal Reserve reporting about 1 in 5 Americans say their savings could only handle a less than $100 emergency. A $1,000 emergency, like a car repair or medical expense, would be too much for 42% of adults. The Federal Reserve reported in May of 2023, only 63% of Americans said they could pay an unexpected $400 expense. That is less than the average family's monthly grocery bill.
Only 20% of Americans have more emergency savings now than they did at the beginning of the year. A third have less. And about 1 in 6 are in the precarious position of not having any emergency savings at the beginning of the year and still not having any now.
Financial analysts say there are ways to build your savings, like saving anything extra at the end of the month, and bank windfalls like rebates and refunds. A seasonable weekend ahead for southern Wisconsin. Let's go to Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington. A complete look at our first warn forecast.
Yeah, Eric, that's all part of the 3 things you got to get out of our forecast for tonight. A little frost possible, then widespread rain is expected at this time tomorrow night. And yeah, a seasonable weekend ahead. And seasonable weather isn't something we're too used to in southern Wisconsin, with temperatures in the 70s and the 80s recently. And we got that again in the forecast. Let's track our temperatures as we wake up to this Thursday morning, going for a low of 35, 34 here in Madison, 33 in Janesville, 37 in the Dells, the Wisconsin River Valley. Again, one of the chillier spots because of the valley. We could see a little of that patchy frost that melts away quickly. High temperatures getting into the low to mid, maybe a couple of upper 60s as a weather system comes in from the south and from the west. That's going to bring increasing clouds throughout the day, and then eventually some rainfall for southern Wisconsin, which we desperately need. Just taking a snapshot of the month where you see green boxes here, that's where we've had just a little bit of rain, just 0.2, a little bit over at the Madison airport, where we should be looking at about 2 inches by the end of October. So not a rainy month by a long shot here. Rainfall chances expect to get wet about this time tomorrow night. That carries on into the wee hours of Friday morning. It's a quick little weather system that moves through, and because of its speed, we're not expecting a ton of rain from it, but we'll take what we can get, right? Showers and a few thunderstorms, Dells down to Madison and Monroe at this time tomorrow night. Quickly moving through. Showers and thunderstorms, Madison, and points off towards the east. And it's out of here by the time we get towards about approximately the 4 o'clock hour Friday morning. Eventually, skies will clear out on Friday. 1/4 to 1/2 inch widespread across all of southern Wisconsin. Maybe a little bit less to the north of Madison and a little bit more towards the south and east. But this could ebb and flow a little bit, so be tuning in tomorrow. Savannah will have an update on the rainfall, and then Kelly at noon. And then I'll be here tomorrow night with Jacob as well, as we keep an eye on this weather system, because we will take all those drops as we can get, as I like to say. 10-day full forecast here. Chance of that shower Friday morning, then that seasonable weekend ahead. Highs of 56 degrees Saturday and Sunday. We've got homecoming festivities going on. Friday night will be reasonably cool for this time of year and this upcoming weekend. Those temperatures are what we would expect for October. But look at this as we head out into next week. Temperatures next Tuesday, not another misprint, near 80-degree weather out ahead of a cold front. Actually, Tuesday morning, we could be starting off with temperatures near 60 degrees, breezy conditions, showers and thunderstorms with that cold front coming through on Wednesday. And if you're wondering, well, what's Halloween going to be like? It looks like it will be normal this year. No snow expected for this particular Halloween. Now, Blaze and I, we had a little bit of an interesting weekend. We were able to participate in Wisconsin's very first Weatherfest. Thanks, Chris, for having us out. In fact, let's hear what the Wisconsin Net manager had to say about this year's exhibits.
There's a lot of different things that go on in Wisconsin, whether it's in Madison or in Milwaukee, that are related to weather and climate. So we brought together a vast group of people from on campus and around the Wisconsin weather community. So we've got the National Weather Service here that's introducing people to floodplains and tornadoes. WISC-NET is here, the new Wisconsin Environmental Mesonet. We're building a network of weather stations across the state. So we have one of our weather stations here that you can get your hands on and see how they operate. The Center for Climatic Research is here, letting people create their own lightning. And we've got the Antarctic Research Group from the university here with some of their cold weather gear. The State Climate Office is here talking about the Packers and how well they perform in various temperatures.
There you saw Blaze and I showcasing some of our remote weather technology, too, to over 70 attendees this year, where they got a chance to make their own weather graphics. And a lot of folks probably aren't aware that we, the First Warn Weather Team, we're responsible for creating all the weather graphics that you see on TV. Thank you so much again, WISC-NET manager Chris, for having us out. We're looking forward to coming out to the next annual Wisconsin Weather Fest.
I know you love working with the public and educating them on weather. Alex, thank you. Milwaukee Bucks may soon expand into the world of women's basketball. The team's ownership group has submitted a bid to be the home of a WNBA expansion team. Milwaukee among 12 to 15 other cities in proposal talks, and that list includes some big cities: Philly, Miami, Denver, and Cleveland. And this isn't the first time Milwaukee has played with the idea of professional women's basketball. The Milwaukee Does played in the Women's Basketball League for 3 seasons from 1978 to 1980. Zach?
Speaking of the Bucks, they were balling in their season opener. How the Deer did in Philly. That's next in sports on News 3 Now.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Bigger isn't always better. Stoughton Health offers in-house MRI in a safe, inviting environment with convenient scheduling, friendly staff, and easy parking. Experience why patients are proud to say, "This is my hospital."
This is Senator Tammy Baldwin. This is her life partner, Maria Brisbane, a Wall Street exec who makes millions advising the super rich how to make money off industries Tammy regulates. Tammy doesn't get home to Wisconsin most weekends. She'd rather be in New York at Maria's $7 million condo. That's why New Yorkers have given Tammy over $1.3 million. Tammy Baldwin's not Wisconsin's senator anymore. She's the 3rd senator from New York.
I'm Eric Hovde, and I approve this message.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
Donald Trump makes a lot of promises, but we can be sure of one thing. If he wins, he'll ignore all checks that rein in a president's power. It's all in Trump's Project 2025 agenda. What does that mean for you? Higher cost on groceries, cuts to Social Security and Medicare, more tax breaks for billionaires, and a national abortion ban putting women's health at risk. A second Trump term, more unhinged, unstable, and unchecked.
Are record high energy costs putting a squeeze on your fixed or limited incomes? While you haven't asked for it, the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund and your local energy assistance providers are here to help. No Wisconsin resident should ever have to face the challenge of living without heat or power or face homelessness. For a hand up, apply today.
How extreme is Todd Novak? He thinks a woman's most private medical decisions should be up to him. Todd Novak has a 100% anti-abortion rating. He supports letting politicians ban abortion with no exceptions for rape, incest, or to save a woman's life. And Todd Novak authored the law to ban abortion here in Wisconsin. Elizabeth Grabe will defend abortion rights. She knows private medical decisions are between women and their doctors.
I'm working harder than ever just to pay the bills and provide for my family. But here's what Kamala Harris thought my money should go to instead. Job training for illegal immigrants, even after they commit crimes in America. Hotel rooms for illegal immigrants while our vets sleep on the street. Sex changes for illegal immigrants out of my pocket. Seriously, have these people lost their mind? Kamala Harris can never, ever be our president.
Preserve America PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Bigger isn't always better. Stoughton Health offers in-house MRI in a safe, inviting environment with convenient scheduling, friendly staff, and easy parking. Experience why patients are proud to say, "This is my hospital."
After back-to-back first-round exits in the playoffs, Giannis has dubbed this year as the redemption. He's healthy, and the two-time MVP and Damian Lillard actually got an off-season together. That's good. Not good, Chris Middleton out for their season opener against the 76ers, but you knew that. Bucks were out and running in the second quarter. Pat Connaughton leaves it for Giannis, and he parts the sea in the paint for the slam. 25 points and 14 boards from him. And then later, it was Dame time. He splashes home the triple for 3 of his game-high 30. Bucks get the win, 124-109. It's been 3 weeks of doing what Wisconsin is supposed to do, dominate teams like Purdue, Rutgers, and Northwestern. Their next test is an undefeated Penn State team who sits ahead of UW in the Big Ten standings and is ranked number 3 in the nation. So this is a huge opportunity to send a message to the rest of the college football world, and the Badgers are excited for it.
Wait till you come here to die in October, man. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of the approach I'm taking, man. I'm excited that it's a night game here. I wouldn't rather be anywhere else.
It doesn't get any better than that. And you know, we've talked a lot about kind of having everything that we want in front of us. You know, and this is part of the climb. So, you know, we got to take it one play at a time against them and execute our plan. But like I said, it's a phenomenal opportunity for us.
The Packers had a visitor at practice today. Former Jets head coach Robert Saleh was in attendance, working with the Green Bay offense, giving his perspective as a defensive coach. Matt LaFleur called Saleh's role with the team a fluid one and said Saleh is currently staying at his house. A little throwback to when the two were roommates at Central Michigan. Well, after sweeping their rivals in Minneapolis, Wisconsin women's hockey now turns their attention to a team in Bemidji State that just isn't very good. The Beavers haven't won a game in WCHA play yet this season, and when it comes to the all-time series, it's all Badgers. Mark Johnson's squad has won 13 straight meetings between the two, so it would be easy to look ahead to next week's series. And that's not what this group is about.
Obviously, like you said, we came off an emotional weekend, but we still have a pair of games. We need to take care of business, and then we have 2 more before we break, so 4 in total. But we're just focused on the next one and then the series in general. So no matter who we're playing, we still got to bring our best. We still got to take care of business and put our best foot forward.
And we're back after this.
I'm Joan Balwig, and I'm here to set the record straight. I support birth control, the life and health of mothers, extending postpartum care, and fertility treatments, including IVF. I'm Joan Balwig. I have always fought for Wisconsin moms, and I always will.
Donald Trump intends to give tax breaks to billionaires and big corporations, to cut Social Security and Medicare, to impose what is in effect a national sales tax. When I am president, I will bring down the cost of groceries. My tax plan will give 100 million more Americans a tax cut. And unlike Donald Trump, I will always put the middle class and working families first.
FFPAC is responsible for the content of this ad.
With Sweeto Metal Roofing, you get quality metal roofs installed by the best in the business. A metal roof means no fading, no storm repairs, true sustainability, and lower energy bills.
Sweeto Metal Roofing, the last roof you'll ever need.
At RG Heating and Air Conditioning, our promise to you is 100% satisfaction guaranteed. Guaranteed service, repairs, and replacements. Installing quality Trane equipment. Trust your home with RG Heating and AC.
You have a clear choice in this election. Senator Baldwin is a 38-year career politician. I'm a businessman and job creator. She supports taxpayer benefits for illegal immigrants. I'll close the border. Tammy wants to put guys and girls sports in their bathrooms. I'll protect our daughters. Senator Baldwin abuses the political system. I'll fight the corruption. I'm Eric Hovde, and I approve this message. I'd be honored to have your vote.
Insanity. Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result.
Would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind.
Kamala wouldn't change a thing? Their weakness invited wars, welfare for illegals, while Americans struggle. Now Kamala wants higher taxes on top of higher prices. We can't afford 4 more years of Kamala.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
When it comes to your critical medical decisions, you should have the final say. But extreme politician Joan Ballweg says you're wrong. She supports criminalizing abortion even after rape and incest. Or to save the life of the mother, Ballweg would jail doctors for giving life-saving care. And Ballweg even wrote the law that could deny women access to birth control. Joan Ballweg would put extreme politicians in charge of your body and put all Wisconsin women in danger.
Sarah Kieski, she supports lifting revenue limits, allowing property tax rates to skyrocket unchecked. Kieski's backers want to ban natural gas to heat our homes, driving utility bills through the roof. That's Kieski's record, expensive and extreme.
Closed captioning sponsored by Community Shares of Wisconsin's Workplace Giving Campaign.
Tonight. You, sir, have you seen my tie? Hello. Is this thing on? Hello.
Colbert's New with Anna Kendrick, tonight on CBS.
And Alex Reed joins us. Final check of the forecast.
Yes. After we get some rain tomorrow night, we've got a nice seasonable weekend ahead. We've got homecoming festivities this weekend. If you're going to take the time outdoors to maybe enjoy a little bit of the last peak fall colors, you got a picture-perfect weekend for that. And these are temperatures. This is what we would expect for October. What you wouldn't expect, though, temperatures back up to near 80 by next Tuesday with another cold front. But Halloween and after that is looking seasonable again.
And high school football playoffs on Friday as well.
Big weekend